It was the crisis that kicked off the 90s in Rhode Island. Later this year will mark 25 years since the events that triggered the credit union collapse, leaving depositors looking for their money and authorities looking for this man, Joseph Mollicone Jr., the president of Heritage Loan and Investment Bank, who embezzled millions of dollars. Knowing the axe was about to fall, Mollicone fled, spending some 18 months in Salt Lake City with a different look and a new name. He finally surrendered to authorities in April of 1992. It was Palm Sunday. His trial would start nearly a year later, and a little later than originally scheduled.
So yeah, there was some pressure. I felt it.
Then Attorney General Jeff Pine inherited the Mollicone case. The trial set to begin under his watch right after he took office in January of 1993, but he got a 60-day continuance.
I had made a decision during the transition to replace the lead prosecutor and put in one of the people that I was keeping in the office during the transition.
That was Kevin Bristow, who started trying the case in March of 1993. Pine says their overall strategy, follow the money. Mollicone's former bank vice president, a key witness for the prosecution.
It was to be deposited into his savings account.
His being Joseph Mollicone Jr.'s savings account.
Yes.
Mollicone's life on the run would also play a central role in the trial, with testimony from a friend and Mollicone's live-in girlfriend, who both knew him in Utah as John Fazioli.
The John Fazioli that you met, you see that man here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
He said he was a jewelry manufacturer.
Anytime you can show somebody was a fugitive, it shows consciousness of guilt, and his life and lifestyle out in Utah was relevant for our purposes in terms of the prosecution.
The trial would last a month, with evidence including surveillance video from the bank and testimony about a purchased Ferrari. The verdict came down April 23rd, 1993.
How do you find the defendant?
Guilty.
Mollicone sentenced to 30 years in prison. He would serve 10. In the pre-dawn hours of July 24th, 2002, I was the only reporter there when Mollicone, who was paroled, walked out of the ACI.
I have a lot to make up for to a lot of people.
It's human nature.
As part of his release, Mollicone was required to speak to students about business ethics. Today, he still lives and works in Rhode Island. He did not want to do an interview with me for this piece, but did tell me, I still regret it and am sorry for the pain I caused. He continues to pay the court-ordered restitution for the millions he embezzled. Mollicone comes here to the Superior Court in Providence to make his payments in person. Right now, that payment is set at $217 a month, though we're told he often rounds up to $225, $250. The balance on his restitution, over $11,975,000. Mollicone, now 71 years old, goes before a magistrate once a year for a financial review. His next court date, December 8th. At his current rate of payment, it would take about 4,000 years to pay back the money he stole a quarter of a century ago. Mario Hilario, NBC 10 News.